in charge, Dr. Beckford, Dr. Nicole, I just made you doctor. That's okay. Take it, girl. Take it. Take your honorary doctorate, girl. Dr. Brittany Anderson, so good to see you. My goodness. Dr. Wallace, hello, welcome. So glad that you're here. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're joining us from. This is going to be an impactful session, not just because of all the amazing things that we're going to learn from Dr. Ona, but also because of one another, right? We're here to learn from one another. We're here to network with one another. And this is going to be the game changer that your business needs. Okay. So I want you to do a few things for me. Okay. We've got somebody from Laurel, Maryland, Alabama, Houston in the house, Cincinnati. Amazing. Amazing. If you have not downloaded the workbook, I want you to take the time to do that now. So I'm going to put it again in the chat. For those of you who are joining, you'll be seeing it shortly. Download the workbook. Why? Because Dr. Una is going to be giving you gems that you're going to want to implement in real time. You know, have you ever been to a conference where you learn one or two things and then you're like, okay, I'll do that later, and okay, I'll figure out how to do that. No, this is not what this is. This challenge is for you to get these things done now. Learn how to do them and get them working. Do you know we've had so many people, so many physician entrepreneurs just like you get amazing wins in real time with this revenue boost challenge. So I want you to give it the time that it deserves. I want you to download your workbook. And I want you to get ready because it's you're going to learn things that has helped Dr. Una build successful practices, successful businesses, successful, and help other people build successful practices and businesses. So these principles are principles that are proven. They are principles that are time tested. They're not fads. She's giving you principles that are going to absolutely work. All right. So I want you to get excited. Let me know who's excited. Let me know who's ready for Dr. Una to come on and share with us. Okay, Dr. Swaldo wins the prize for excitement. Anyone else to share with us the CEO framework? All right, Dr. Una, we are ready.
All right. Hi, everybody. I see the readies in the chat. Welcome to the Revenue Boost Challenge. I am so excited that you're here. And one of the reasons I'm really excited is because, one of our intentions for 2025 is, every other month we'll come and do this, and all the businesses of physicians will just do that, right? Like go up a level, go up a notch. And so I'm super excited that you're here. I see Dr. Teresa Anderson. Hello, hello. It's so fun to see you. Dr. Sweldo is here like she means business. Dr. Beckford in the house. I see you guys. I'll be shouting you guys, out as we go through this, but I want you to lean all the way in because this is going to be a game changer, right? We don't have you here just to have you here. We have you here because we're truly here to see your businesses go to the next level. Okay. So Makita has talked a little bit about this, but I'm gonna lean into a little bit. Okay. Now you didn't pay to be here, but I showed up like you paid me 10 grand. Okay. So all I need from you is for you to show up like you paid 10 grand. Okay. So if you're with the program, just type 10 grand in the chat or 10K or whatever, however you want to put it. But I want you to show up that way. I'm sure if you pay 10 grand, the first thing you'll be thinking is, I need to get my money's worth. I need to get my money's worth. And that's the attitude I want you to have. Okay. So yes, you didn't pay it, but I'm gifting it to you. Okay. So pretend Dr. Una gave you 10K. Okay. Dr. Una is generous. All right. So I want you to show up that way. Like you paid 10 grand and you're like, the least I'm going to get is a 10X return, which is 100K. So if you're going to get 100K out of a 5-day challenge, what are you going to do? How would you show up? I want you to show up that way. Okay. So what that means is I want you to put your distractions away because again, if you pay 10 grand and somebody's sending you a text, you're like, I will get to it. Okay. I'm busy. I'm trying to make me some 100 grand here. Okay. So put away this distractions, save the date and time on your calendar. So, for the rest of the week, 6 o'clock, I'm just showing up because I have this 100 grand to get back. Right. And stuff like that. Take notes. And more importantly, like think about the decisions you're making, right? And take notes on that. One of the things we're going to do a lot here is we're going to make decisions and we're going to take action. Because let me tell you what I don't want to hear. I don't want someone to walk up to me 2 years from now and say, "Oh, Dr. Una, I was at the Revenue Boost Challenge. It was so amazing. You were so inspiring. You're such a good speaker. I was so impressed by you." I mean, like, okay, but that's not why we're here. We're here for you. I want you to walk up to me and say, "Dr. Una, let me tell you what happened." Okay. That's like, right? Like, and then you can also say, "Yes, I love you and I'm impressed by you," and all that stuff. But we're here for you to have your business turn around, to have you as an entrepreneur turn around. Some of you have been for a Revenue Boost Challenge before. I hope you know I didn't roll out of bed and say, "Oh, I've done this before, so let me just come spit out some stuff I've spat out before." That's not what's happening here. We want to see you win. I need you to work with me. So we're going to make decisions. We're going to take actions. We're not going to say, "I heard that before," right? We're here to get results, not to hear stuff, right? Like, so it's not about, we're not taking inventory of all the stuff we've heard before. We want to walk away from here different. Okay. So if you're like, "Oh, Dr. Una, speak no more, I'm all in," just type 10x in the chat. Like, I came here to get an ROI. I'm not here to play. Dr. Una, bring whatever you got. I can handle it. Okay. Hi, Dr. Dosumu. I see ya. Right? Who else is saying 10x? Dr. T. Hi, Dr. Leslie. Dr. Nashay. Dr. Swelder is always 10x. Oh my goodness. Dr. Ajoke, yes. Okay. Okay, beautiful. All right. So just in case we've not met, hi, Dr. Walker. My name is Dr. Una. If we have not met, I'm a pediatrician by training. And I want to tell you a little bit. I just want to take you back a little bit because I don't want you to get an idea. Hi, Dr. Johnson. Hi, Dr. Carmen. I don't want you to get an idea that I'm a unicorn. I'm a unicorn in a way, but not in a way that you can't be a unicorn. We're unicorns, okay? So when I started off as an entrepreneur, many of you have heard my story. I started off as a super shy, socially awkward, introverted introvert. And my thought process was, I don't know how to market. I'm an introvert. I don't like marketing. In fact, I'm an introvert. I don't market. Okay. We were making conclusions here. Like, I can't do that. Like, that's not something I can do. I can't network. I can't build a referral base. I can't do any of those things. So here I am, and I had this brilliant idea. I was going to start a private practice because, of course, when you start a private practice, you hang the shingle and the people come. Right? Okay. So I started a private practice because, as a good doc who wanted to start a business, this was what I could do. And I'm like, I'm going to start the practice. And I started the practice and I hung the shingle. And to my dismay, shock, terror, I discovered that nobody came and nobody was coming. And to be honest with you, if I had a way to back out of my lease, back out of my contract, back out of all the documents I had signed, I would have walked away. I was like a deer caught in headlights. I was like, oh my goodness, I came to the realization that I was going to have to do some business things for my business to work. And I was like, oh my goodness. I tried to escape. I couldn't. My husband's like, well, until you have all the patients you want, your job is to go get all the patients you want. How many of you know that's not a reassuring statement? Because I'm like, this is the exact thing I don't want to, like, I know that. I don't want to do that. And I didn't think I could because I thought the way I was the way I was and I will always be. Like, I'm just not good at I'm just not good at this, right? And I am so grateful because I discovered after reading a book that all business skills are learnable. I didn't know this. I thought I was stuck. I wasn't. I was like, so hang on. I was like, there are many things I don't know how to do. But as a physician, the one thing I do know how to do, I know how to learn. That piece I have down pat, right? And so I started learning some of the things we're going to look at tonight, and we're going to look at for the next 5 nights. But this is what I want you to hear me say. After I started doing those things, the same person I would not, okay. Do I have any cousins here? You're supposed to go out, build a referral base, but you're in your office tweaking your website for the 10,000th time. You're editing your business plan that needs no editing. right? You're reworking your plan. You're deciding on when it's time to move from this office. This is the paint we're going to use. Where are my people? Right? You're doing all the things except the thing you know you need to do for the business to grow. But I went from being that person to being a person who I don't run one business, I run 5 organizations, right? To being that person who could build a private practice that could work without her, who went on to be a person who leads all these great teams. And now I have the freedom to run the kinds of businesses that I want. One of the things I've really wanted to do is do what I'm doing at EntreMD, is to support physicians and help them build profitable businesses so they have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on their terms. And I didn't have to give up my family to do it. I didn't have to give up my faith to do it. I didn't have to give up my health to do it. I didn't have to give any of that up, right? And so the things you're going to learn today, they're not made up. It's not something we got from a book. We didn't Google or chat GPT this stuff. This is stuff that's worked for me. This is stuff that's worked for hundreds of physicians that we've had the pleasure of working with. In fact, I just celebrated being on the Inc. regional list of fastest growing companies in the Southeast, it was so humbling. I mean, like, it's the 3rd year in a row, which is like unbelievably amazing. But I'll tell you what also happened. There are 2 doctors from the EntreMD Business School who made the list too. And I saw it, I was like, oh my good. I've been waiting, ask Makita. I've been waiting for this for years, because some of them, they've hit the income requirement, but their businesses haven't been around long enough. You have to have been in business for 3 years before you can qualify for that. And I'm like, this is so mind-blowing. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to tell you that it worked for an introvert. It worked for someone who thought they were stuck in business. It's working for doctors. It's working for my clients. It's working. It's working. This stuff we're going to do over the next 5 days, this stuff works. Okay. So I don't want you to not embrace the new possibilities. That's why we're here. We are here for you to have a big shift, right? That's going to make that whole boost that you're looking for. But you're not going to walk away after we're done with this challenge with the same business you have. That is not happening. And we're here to make sure that doesn't happen. I just need to know we're on the same page. So if we're on the same page, let me know we're in the same page. Okay? Just let me know in the chat. Dr. Una, just go for it. We are on the same page. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So we're going to start off. And if you don't have your workbooks, this is a great time to grab your workbooks. But we are going to start with the CEO framework. There is a way that 7-figure CEOs show up. There's a way they think. There's a way there are things that they expect. We're going to start from there. Okay, that's where we're going to start from tonight. But before we do that, I want us to take a moment. This will take less than a minute, because we want to customize this experience for those of you who are here. We're going to launch a poll right quick. It'll take less than a minute for you to fill them out. I think it's 5 questions. You're just selecting. Okay. So you should see that there. If you're using your phone, I believe you have to go to the 3 dots at the end and hit that to get to the poll. Okay. But the poll is up. 5 simple questions. You just fill that out. Let me know in the chat if you see it. I know Dr. Anderson sees it. I see you looking. Okay, so just fill that out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that way the team and I can customize your experience and make sure everybody's getting what they use. We're using the right examples and all of those things. Okay, so we have 12% who've completed. Awesome, you guys are amazing. But of course, it's a group of physicians. Of course, you're amazing. Of course, you're amazing. All right, so we have 30%, 34%. We can do it. We can do it. 40%. Making progress, 45%. Excellent. I'm going to give it 20 more seconds. 50%. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for taking the time. 63%, 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Are we going to get to 70? I mean, in doctor world, it's not even a pass mark, but we'll take it, right? Okay. Dr. Makita says 90. Makita's an overachiever. Okay. 5 more seconds. One more time. Come on, we're at 70. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. All right. All right. We got 72. I'll take it. I'll take it. Tomorrow, we're going to go to 90, okay? For Makita's sake. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. We have that. Okay. So let's talk about these shifts. So first of all, in your workbook, you're going to see on the page for session 1, you're going to see where you get to circle your revenue milestone for the next 12 months. Okay, so I want you to circle that and then type done in the chat once you're done. Pick a number. And you might say, oh, what if I don't hit the number? Don't worry about that. Just pick a number. We start from the what, and then we go to the how. Okay, pick a number. If you need the workbook, Makita just posted the link again. Okay, once you're done, type done. Remember, we're here to do stuff. We're here to make decisions. We're here to do things, and we're not here to listen. Because remember, right? You're showing up like you paid 10 grand for this. Okay. All right. So once you're done, type done. Once you're done, type done. Pick a number. Hi, Dr. Jillian. Nice to see you. Done, done, done. Hi, Dr. Brittany Anderson. Dr. Brittany Anderson is a massive action taker. Everybody watch out. Watch out. Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Jillian. Absolutely. This is my pleasure. Okay. I have 8 people who are done. Who else? Who else? Come on, guys. We can do it. We can do it. Pick a number. Pick a number. Next 12 months, revenue, right? I want us to have the proper perspective as we do this. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. I have 15 people. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. I have faith in you. Okay. All right, so this is the deal. Hi, Dr. Stokes. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I need to text you. Okay, so this is the deal. Okay, I'm going to give you three things today. Okay, and we're going to make these shifts. We're going to make these shifts. Now, there are 3 ways, there are 3 thoughts that 7-figure CEOs have. And when I say this, I'm not saying it because 7 figures is a buzzword. Okay. I run multiple 7-figure businesses. Many of my clients run 7-figure businesses. I'm always putting myself in rooms where I'm talking to people who are running 7, 8, and 9-figure businesses. So I'm saying this based on years of just observing, right? And seeing what they do and what we do. Okay. All right. So the first thought is I can rise above any challenge. And I need you to type that in the chat. You may not fully believe it yet. That's okay. We're just going to hang out with it for a second. I can rise above every challenge. Now, in 2025, this is absolutely critical that we get this, and this is the way we think. Okay. Now, 2025, a version of it has happened before. It happened in 2020. Okay. It happened in 2020. In 2020, there are a number of things that happened. Some people went into hiding because I don't know what is going on. It looks like a pandemic. I'm going to shut down my practice for maybe 2 to 4 weeks. I have enough money to get through that time period, and we'll just see what happens, right? We'll just see what happens. That is not what the 7-figure entrepreneurs do. There's another group of people who are so overwhelmed by all the things that are happening. And what is a COVID? And what is a shutdown? And what is the news? And what is a death toll? And what is this? And what is that? And what's that? And so they were paralyzed. So they did nothing. Okay. Now there's another group of people, and I was in that group, and it was a group of people who said, I don't know what this is. At this time, it wasn't even a pandemic. I don't know what this is. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I do know that I'm going to win. I do know that I'm going to thrive. Now, I haven't worked out the how yet, but I'm not going down like this. Right? And so that's and you know, like I've told you guys the story multiple times. In 2020, my private practice, we did better in 2020 than we did in 2019. And we did better in 2021 than we did in 2020. I am telling you, but the attitude is I can rise above any challenge. I may need a minute. I may need to go to my own kind of people who get it and say, man, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we are going to do this, right? But we say, I can rise to any challenge. And so in the EntreMD Business School was launched in 2020. I hope you know that makes no sense. Like everybody's hiding, you're launching, it makes no sense. But I understood I needed to serve my community. I needed to serve, like, guys, we can thrive. We're not going down like this. Many of the doctors in the EntreMD Business School, I mean, they launched businesses in 2020, 2021. Karen Kaufman, you've heard from many times. She launched her practice in January of 2021. Who does that? Rachel Rubin, the same thing, 2021. Like, who does that? Right? So this is the deal. We're back there. We're in 2025. It's not a virus, but it's the same thing. The fear, the worry, the anxiety, the uncertainty, all of that stuff. And it is, right? Like, oh, this is why, that is why. Okay, but it is. The question is, are there people who are going to say, I can rise above any challenge? Like, I'm not going down like that. Right? That is the first thought process. And you don't have to have the how figured out. You need to have a decision and you need to have a commitment. Why do I say commitment? Because commitment means I'm going to do what it takes. If I need to learn new skills, I'm going to do that. If I need to pivot a little, I'll do that. If I need to invest in myself, invest in a program, I'm going to do that. Whatever it takes. But I'm not going down like that. Because in entrepreneurship, there will be challenge after challenge after challenge. Where are my veterans? I have some veterans here. How many of you know, you've been in business long enough to know there will always be ups and downs. The people who win are the people who decide the downs are not taking me down. That's it. That's it. Right? And so Dr. says, yeah. So hear me, right? Like we don't roll over and play dead, including quiet quitting. Because quiet quitting, we're still showing up, we're still doing the thing, but we're not expecting anything. We're just like, I'm just doing this because I'm committed. I'm not a person who quits, but you did quit. You did. Right? Okay. So we're in 2025. We see all this stuff all the stuff that's happening. We have opportunities to quit. We have opportunities to play victim, or we have opportunities to say, you know what? I can rise above any challenge. I'm making the decision and I'm committed and I will do what it takes. I am not going to become a pessimist where, oh yeah, nothing really works, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. We have one life to live. We don't get to do 2025 over. This is not the rehearsal. This is it. Okay. So decisions in real time. You're like, Dr. Una, tone it down a little. No. Remember you paid me 10 grand? Okay. I'm having too much fun. All right. Decision. Who's making a decision? And this is so serious. Listen, there are people who launched businesses in 2021 and they took it to 7 figures in less than 2 years. They did it because they had this attitude. Am I telling you that's exactly what you're going to do? No, but I am telling you that if you want to thrive in 2025, you need this attitude and you need this mindset. So if you're making the decision, just type in the chat. I'm all in. I'm all in. I can rise above any challenge. So the whole thing of, what the administrators are doing to us, what the insurance companies are they doing it? Yes. But we're going to rise above it. We're not going to roll over and play dead. Nobody's coming to save us. And let me tell you something you may not realize. Your patients or your clients, depending on the kind of business you run, they're looking for someone to lead. They're looking for someone to still stand strong. They're looking for someone they can follow. That's you. That's you. Okay. All right. Dr. Una, moving on. Move to the second one. All right. Now, what is the date 90 days from today? You can Google it. I'm Equal Opportunity or Chat GPT it. What is the date 90 days today? 90 days from today. You can type in the chat once you have it. 90 days from today, July 7th. Wow. Right after 4th of July. So fun. 7/7. I like that, right? Okay. The second thought is this. I can be completely different in 90 days. There are things where like, well, I can't market and I can't sell and I don't really think like that. And I don't have I can't talk to referral people and I can't do videos and I can't do all of that stuff. Let me tell you how the ultra successful think. I can be completely different in 90 days. I can pick a skill and learn it and crush it and be different in 90 days. I can show up different. I may talk this way on stage. I can be completely different in 90 days. I may be built, I may be so afraid of talking to referral sources, but I can put in the reps and I'll be completely different in 90 days. Okay. What is a skill that you know if I had this skill, it will change my business completely? Type in the chat. It could be anything for you. It could be networking, it could be speaking, it could be hiring, it could be whatever. Just type in the chat. What is that? Remember, you pay 10 grand. If you pay 10 grand, you type in the chat. Remember? Okay. Oh, a lot of hiring. Dr. Anderson, TikTok videos. She was like, I'll go viral. Everybody will be in my practice, right? Networking, speaking up to lead, delivery, networking, YouTube channel, systems and SOPs, leading, speaking, closing, social media, networking, right? The ultra successful don't say, I suck at this. I'm not good at this. I'm no good at that. No. They say, let's put a 90-day block. And it could be any different block, right? But 90 days, I like 90 days. I use that a lot. 90 days. Dr. Brittany says, de-hiring. Dr. Brittany, we're gonna need to work on that. When I see you in the movement tomorrow on Wednesday. Right? But I can be different in 90 days. I could master this skill in 90 days. And when I say mastery, mastery is an ongoing thing, but I can become really good at it such that it will make a big difference. Like for everyone who typed hiring, if you get good at hiring your next critical role, think about the significant change that will bring to your business, right? Dr. Anderson, you're talking about TikTok. I'm guessing you want to use it for visibility. Imagine mastering that platform and boom, right? Your business explodes in the best possible way. Dr. Anderson, Dr. Brittany Anderson, you think about de-hiring. Let me tell you, one of the best things you can do for your business is de-hire the wrong person. The immediate peace and quiet it brings to your business is like nothing else. And so we can get to this place where we become cynical, like where we are is where we'll always be and we're stuck and all of that. The ultra successful don't do that. They don't do that. They do what you just did. They identify a skill that if I learn this, it changes everything, and they go learn it. They go learn it. They go do it. Now, are you going to suck at it? Yes. But if you're willing to suck at something long enough, you can become great at it. We sucked at everything we're good at now. You sucked when you sucked at putting IVs. You sucked at intubating people. You sucked at doing all the things. Now, many of those things you can do in your sleep. Why? Because you were willing to suck at it long enough till you became great at it. Right? So when people say, I suck at doing videos, I don't know what that means. Yeah, like, of course you do. Sucking is the pathway to greatness. Right? Of course you do. Why am I saying this? Guys, we've been convinced for so long that we're not good at this stuff and we're not good at entrepreneurship and things are just the way they'll be. Maybe you've tried to hit a revenue goal in your business for the last 3 years and you didn't hit it. And just like, oh, I'm just the way I am and things. It's not true. It is not true. We can bring about significant shifts if we'll just get out of that way of thinking. So number one, I can rise above any challenge. Number two, I can be completely different. And I mean, you as an entrepreneur, I can be completely different in 90 days. Okay. So who's making that decision? Who's making that decision? Somebody posted this in the Entrepreneur Business School, when she was doing her 90-day reviews, and she said, before I used to, when business got slower, I'd panic. And I'm like, oh, nothing's working. I start spiraling all of that. And she's like, now I'm just clear. I put in the reps. I know where I'm going. Like, can you imagine the peace and quiet that just comes from thinking that way? It's like phenomenal. Phenomenal, right? Okay. Wait a minute. We're not making decisions. Who's making the decision? Type me in the chat. You're making the decision. Like, this is your new way of thinking. I can be completely different in 90 days. By July 7th, like the United States will celebrate their Independence Day, and I'll celebrate my Independence Day from whatever it is that I just got over. Everybody getting an Independence Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's look at one more. Now, this piece, you got to get this piece. Okay. My business can be completely different in 90 days. Now, we talked about you as an entrepreneur, but your business, let me not say you're saying to yourself, my business can be completely different in 90 days. It can be. Now, one of the things we do in the EntreMD Business School is we live 90 days at a time. So every 90 days is a new year, right? So April 1st, we're like, yay, happy EBS New Year. Okay. And every 90 days, you'll see people post things like, wow, compared to the last quarter, so in this case, Q4, my business grew by 40%. It grew by 72%. It grew by 116%, right? I brought on this team member and I fixed this system, right? Like, it can be different. So let me say this here, right? Because I really do want you to hear, I want you to see fellow physicians doing this. I want you to walk away refusing to be the same, refusing to be floored by any challenge ever again, and refusing to have a business that stays the same every 90 days. Like, just like, I'm done with that. That's my mission tonight. Okay. Okay. When you have a challenge in your business, the real problem is not the challenge. The real problem is what it then makes you believe about your business. If you said in this quarter, we are going to hit 100 grand in this quarter, right? And you didn't hit the 100 grand, that is not the problem. The problem is now you're like, well, we're this kind of business that when we set goals, we don't really hit it. And so because we've tried and we didn't hit it, we're not going to try anymore. We're just going to work hard enough to maintain what we have. And you can't maintain because other people are going forward. Life is going forward. Challenges are showing up. So if your plan is to maintain, you're going backwards. So we decide, right? My business can be different every 90 days. And we go for it. Now, please don't hear what I'm saying. I'm not talking about hustling into the ground and, you don't have a life anymore and all that. That is not what, do I look like I'm hustling into the ground? I don't have a life anymore. I have a life. I homeschool my kids. I go on vacations. I take days off. So do my clients, right? Like, so that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about decisions that will take you forward. Okay. So I can rise above any challenge, including all this stuff happening in 2024 and the stock market and all the things. I can rise above any challenge. I can. I'm not going down like that. I can change every 90 days. My business can change every 90 days. I'm looking for a few brave people who are like 3 for 3, Dr. Una. 3 for 3. I'm here for all of it. I'm going to put it on my wall. I'm going to adopt this as a new way of thinking. When I find myself trying to quiet quit, I'm like, excuse you. As of the 7th of April, we don't do that anymore, right? When other people are saying, oh, it sucks, doctors, we're finished. Oh, what the insurance company did. You're like, I don't do that anymore. It's a challenge. I agree it's a challenge. I will rise above any challenge. That's just how I roll. Okay? Okay. It's time for us to take our businesses by our hands and our businesses to be, I know some of you are starting, and aggressively move them forward. It is time to build assets that will give us the opportunity to have a lot of impact, to create financial freedom, and to create time freedom. You spend too much time getting an education and too much money getting said education for you not to have a return on your investment. But nobody's going to hand you the return on your investment. You're going to take it. And if you choose to think in these 3 ways, you will take it. I've done it for 15 years. That's how long I've been an entrepreneur for. My clients have done it and they continue to do that. We're not rolling over and playing dead anymore. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to bring 𝐸𝐸𝐸 up because 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 has some friends to interview, but I want you to pay attention, guys. I want you to pay attention to the doctors that she's going to be talking with in a second. I want you to hear their stories. And I want to invite you to please don't be cynical. Please don't think this can be for you. Please don't think, oh, like they're so special. They're the only ones who have that. Now, let me be very clear. They are very special. But the reason they're sharing their story with you is not to say nobody can do this, is to say you can do this. Okay? So that's what I want you to lean into. Embrace possibility. Okay? All right. 𝐸𝐸𝐸, you're the boss. You're the
Oh,
boss.
thank you. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Una. That was amazing. Anyone else feeling so inspired and ready to embrace all the possibilities for yourself and for your business? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Una. And like Dr. Una said, we have some amazing physician entrepreneurs that are here tonight, and they are going to show you how they were able to embrace possibility in their life and in their business. And we're going to start with Dr. Carolina Swaldo. How are you, Dr. Swaldo? So good to see you. Thank you for joining us all the way from beautiful Florida. Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. I know you are
Yes,
still in clinic,
absolutely.
so thank
Yeah,
you for taking the time. We want to
absolutely.
hear your story, your entrepreneur journey. Today's focus is all about the CEO framework. There was a time where you weren't a CEO, but now you are. So,
hmm
so tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still becoming, but yes. So I encountered Dr. Una, I think through her podcast back in 2021 and kind of stalked her for about a year or so, and then ultimately joined the business school June of 22. So I'm actually wrapping up my third year in EBS. And when I started the business school, I was actually an employed physician. And decided I was going to, stalking is totally allowed, yes. And then decided I was going to open my own practice. I didn't know what I didn't know. I just knew I was very galvanized against the mission of private equity and corporate that had taken over the fertility space, which they're not good or bad. They're just, not what I was looking for myself and for my patients. And so in the fall of 2023, 𝐂𝐨𝐸 Fertility was born. So for those who don't know, I am a double board certified fertility specialist, and I am the founder and CEO of 𝐂𝐨𝐸 Fertility Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Um, and when I opened, frankly, I was told it couldn't be done. Like nobody's doing this anymore. What are you thinking? I actually had colleagues in the area calling me saying, "Look, we're waiting for you to like realize this isn't going to work, so you'll hurry up and join us." Like actually fellow fertility specialists in the community. Um, and the first 6 months were definitely a valley. I think, if EBS had, I always tell people, without EBS, there is no 𝐂𝐨𝐸 Fertility. So, so much gratitude forever to this community, and always happy to come on, contribute, give back, just because it really has done so much for me. Um, and it was really hard to see like where things were going. Um, and there was advice given to me at that time, like basically just take the next step forward, do one thing to move your business forward every day. And in 2024, our first year of business, we actually closed out 750K in revenue. I was able to pay back startup costs. I was able to pay myself a six-figure salary on top of that. Going into year two of business, I have actually paid myself my entire year one in the first quarter. So I'm on track. I mean, fingers crossed if all goes well. We're on track for just under 1 million. I'm going to stretch that and say we get there. But basically just doing things that like straight up people said couldn't be done. And I think, now it turned into or it transitioned from I want to carve out my own little corner. I just want to see my patients. I just want to do the thing. And now we have proof of concept, and now we are sort of, where is this train going? And, do we scale? Do we acquire practices? I've had some physicians reach out that they want to join. So we're kind of like now trying to figure out what does this look like, because I always want it to remain authentic. Um, and I will say the first year of Sabo, I worked a lot. I mean, I really there was a lot of man hours put in. But I have been able to generate that salary in year two while cutting back to 4 days a week and taking a week off to go on a cruise with my family. So off, disconnected. So what I can tell you is stepping into year two, that CEO mindset of oh, I'm not just a doctor who started this little practice. I'm actually a business owner that now needs to carry herself as such. And yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't know if anybody is the goat. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're just still in awe of all the good things that have happened since you started. First of all, you taking the chance on your dream. You taking the
Betting
chance
on
on your
myself. You told me that.
hmm
Bet on
Yeah.
yourself, Dr. Sweldo. You told me that, Makita. That was 2.5 years ago, right before I made the decision.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad you did. So glad you did. But sometimes I know I said that to you, but sometimes it's hard, especially when you have people who are already in the field telling you that it can't be done, right? But you
Mhm.
still overcame that. So that is amazing. We're so proud of you for that. Look at all the love in the comments for that. Congratulations for doing that. And then also doing the hard work it took, right? Because you have a like you said, you worked very hard to get a six-figure salary, not only be able to pay yourself a six-figure salary, to be able to pay back the startup costs. You don't know. I speak to a lot of doctors. I'm privileged to speak to a lot of doctors. Doctors are my best friends. I love doctors. I'm a physician ally. And so many of them tell me they don't think it's possible to start a practice because of the startup costs. They don't think it's possible to start a practice and do well. The thing that they hear is oh, it's going to take 3 years before you even break even. Not to talk of profit, you know. So you have just proven all those stereotypes wrong.
And I will
And
say that's honestly thanks to EBS.
mhm,
No question in my mind,
mhm.
because I think it really made me come up with a plan. And when the first year I was in the business school, we call it the business before the business. There was brand building, there was, social media, YouTube, networking, sort of a lot of things that now I do very naturally, but at the time required a lot of intention and really kind of doing it on purpose. And really asking for help, right? And asking for support within the business school. And so I was able to, there was a lot of hard. I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat. There was a lot of hard. But I will say, I think my runway was shorter and my path to profitability was so much faster because I had all of that knowledge going into it. We talk about the EBS math puzzle. Man, that puzzle is like gold, right? So there was a lot of that even before starting the business.
Oh, wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to talk a little bit about, so you've had so many times of making hard decisions. There are so many times where you're almost at a crossroads. At a crossroads a lot, Dr. Swaldo, when you think
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Like
Not, yeah.
I can
Yeah.
either I can either do this or I can do this. I can do this or do that. When you came to the crossroad of being in EBS and what were some of the things that were going on through your mind? Because, or even when it comes to renewing, because you're in your third year, you've already had so much success, you've already experienced so many things, but you were very clear in letting us know that it is EBS, the support of the community, what you've learned, the mentorship from Dr. Una. I mean,
Hmm.
it has been so priceless. Um, but when you're at the crossroads, there are a lot of things that make it difficult to make a decision.
Yeah.
So, what were some of the things in your mind that helped you make that decision?
So going from year one to year two kind of was easy for me because I was right. It was summer of 22. I knew I was launching in the fall. I knew I was going to need the community. So that was an easy decision. I think going from year two to year three, actually cannot take credit for this. Dr. Una mentioned Karen Kaufman. She's someone I have deep, deep respect for. And I asked her, I said, look, you've been in here a long time. Like, how do you decide? And she told me, she's like, would I have gotten where I got without EBS in the last 12 months, right? Looking back. And then can I go where I want to go in the next 12 months without EBS? And if the answer is no, then I stay. And so though that was kind of those baseline questions of, do I have the tools or do I need the support, the accountability? Am I still learning? Are there still things that I'm pulling, from the school? So those were the two questions that I asked myself at each anniversary.
Yeah. Like, can I get to where I want to be by myself? And I love what Dr. Uno says, hope is not a strategy. It's that cuts a little, but it's the truth. Hope is not a strategy. I cannot hope to get where I want to be. And Dr. Uno did a very, very awesome podcast episode about DIY your business. Do not do it yourself. Like, why? I mean, you said I love what you said. You said your runway was shortened so much because of EBS.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you so much, Dr. Swallow, for coming on. This has been so impactful. Thank you for sharing your story. Is there anything else? Any last words?
No last words. Like I said in the beginning, this community has given me so much. So if anybody has any questions or wants to talk offline, I'm always available. I'm happy to connect and share my experience. So that's all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swallow. Let us know how to reach out to you.
Oh,
You
sure.
can you can let us know in the comments. That is awesome. So, all of the things Dr. Uno taught us tonight about having that CEO framework of mind. I mean, when Dr. Uno's talking about it, it sounds so good and you're so inspired, like, oh my goodness, yes, yes, I can think differently. Yes, I can be different in 90 days. But the question is how? How? And when you start doing that journey of being different in 90 days, what happens when you have questions? What happens when you start wanting to learn those skills? Okay, so Doctor Who has learned quite a few skills. Are you guys able to handle one more person? One more person. Thank you so much, Dr. Swaldo. Yes, Dr. Bedford. Anybody else able to handle one more testimonial with another CEO who has learned the CEO framework that Dr. Una taught us tonight? Okay, Dr. Corolla. Are you able to unmute? There you are. Are you able to unmute?
Okay, I think I'm
Okay.
unmuted now.
It's so good to see you.
A minute. Good to see you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. So tell us about your CEO journey. Now, when you and I met, you were already a CEO, already had a practice. Um, but tell us a little bit about the kind of CEO you became and what that journey looks like for you.
Well, well, well. Wow, it's definitely been a journey, and it's still a journey. I'm still discovering who I am, still pushing myself, um, still moving forward. As far as being a CEO and a clinician. So it's definitely been a journey. But for those who don't know me, I'm Corolla Okoba. I am an ophthalmologist in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've been in private practice. I think we're going to celebrate 12 years this year. When I joined EBS, I was maybe 8 years in. So I'd been in the game for some time before joining the business school. And so, um, before EBS, I was a completely different CEO than after EBS. And we can go either way. Makita, how you wanna, where you want me to go with this?
I think it's always good for us to know what life was like before EBS. I think, because there may be people listening, joining us tonight that are already have practices, and they want to know, when their doctor was talking about increasing your revenue, um, thinking differently. You can be different in 90 days. Those things may sound good, but may not really resonate with them. So I think it's always good for you to share your journey. So let us know the other CEO first.
Yeah. So let me just tell you about this recent event, being
Okay.
part of the Inc. regionals with Dr. Una,
Yes.
right? So that's really been a great honor. And for me to even have to be connected to that, to be a part of that, to be on that list was like, wait, what? Me? What? No? This CEO? No way. So
Dr. Krola, I think we need to clarify what you're talking about because you just kind of like gloss over it as if everybody knows. So she is talking about winning Inc. regionals for being one of the fastest growing companies. Okay, do you know your number?
think I was 168.
168, 168. My goodness, that is amazing.
Yeah, so
Okay, so that's now you put into context. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and so when Dr. Una said, "Hey, why don't you guys just go ahead and apply and to see where you are?" And I'm like, I doubt I'm gonna I doubt I'm gonna make the list, but I'm gonna do what Dr. Una says because whenever you do what Dr. Una says, things happen, right? It works. So that's the only reason that I actually, went through the process because hey, my mentor said to do it and she's never wrong. So I'm just gonna do it and see. Let's see where it goes. And so, but I want to talk about what got me here because there's no way I would have ever, at least I don't feel, prior to having had the resource of EBS, I do not believe I would have been able to say, hey, look, my company is one of the fastest growing companies in the Southeast region of the United States. Okay. So I owe a lot of gratitude to Dr. Una, to the EBS community, all these doctors doing wonderful things, great things. And it's so wonderful to be in that room, in that community, the encouragement, the accountability, the resources, the tools, the mindset things that has helped me to grow, as a CEO, as a person, as an individual, in every way. So to get here, let's kind of just start back. I'm going to go way back to my origin story this time. So I always start off with COVID, but the how I even got into private practice was I was out of residency and I was not in a good situation. So I knew one of my professors who lived maybe about an hour away from me said, "Hey, I'm actually leaving private practice. I'm leaving my practice. And do you know anybody who wants to buy my practice? Do you want to buy it?" I said, "Well, I wasn't looking for practice, but I'm looking to change my situation." And so she said, "Okay, why don't you come up? Come and look at it. I'm just kind of leaving everything and so on." And so my husband and I, we drove up, kind of had a really good meeting with her. And I thought, you know what? Fresh start. This is going to be great. I'm an excellent doctor. I'm a great surgeon. I've had a really great, um, you know, a residency. I learned a lot. There's nothing I can't do. Right. So I went into all that thinking, okay, I'm a doctor. That's all I need to be. Right. And everything else would just follow. And so year one, year two, I'm all into this, this and that. But as great as I was as a clinician and a surgeon, the business part was not so great for me. And And so I started down this path of really struggling in so many ways, struggling and hiring, struggling, and the whole CEO thing, trying to run a business and being the doctor, trying to I wouldn't even do office meetings. I wouldn't even hold my staff accountable. I wouldn't even collect from Mrs. Jones if she says she didn't have her, copay. Oh, just bill me, doc. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So that wasn't even collecting. And so all of that, not having that business knowledge, not having the guidance really, really caused me a lot of trouble in my first 8 years of practice. And then to put it in perspective, then COVID came. Well, COVID came and then I couldn't operate, right? I couldn't do surgery, which was my higher reimbursable um, procedures. And practice was shut down for a bit. And so that really knocked me off my feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Do I go and start begging in the hospital, like trying to get a job somewhere else, sell the practice, or what? And so when I came, I had to let staff go. I mean, it just shot waves to me. And that shook me as a person. And I'm like, Lord, I'm a great doctor. Why is this happening to me? What's going on? And so, and I think I remember telling Dr. Una this, that I was actually looking to supplement my own income when I came upon seeing Dr. Una speak at a conference for physicians. In 2020, Zoom was like, okay, now we get all these webinars. I'm like, we have the time, let's learn. So I was actually learning. I was trying to see, okay, what else can I do to really do something here, because I don't think this practice is going to survive if we keep going like this. And so this is what I came from to now being on the Inc. Regionals with Dr. Una, which is a great honor. And so when I heard Dr. Una, I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe there is hope for my practice. Well, maybe there's hope for me after all. And so I just started listening to her podcast. Then I wasn't even a podcast person. Honestly, I didn't even know what the heck a podcast was, really, to tell you the truth. But I start listening, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's speaking to me. She's speaking to me. And then I attended the Untrained MD Live that she normally have online. At that time, that was in 2021. After that year of COVID issues, and so that's when I joined. So it was 2021. It's going to be 4 years since then. And we're going to celebrate 12 years of the practice this year. And I can tell you, I'm a completely different person. My practice is a completely different practice than what it was 4 years ago. So that's where I am.
Oh
And
my goodness. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say some of the things that that made a huge difference for me coming into. I always felt like I just did not have the help that I need. I would go to my subspecialty conferences every year. I wouldn't miss one. I would do all of their, HR stuff. I would attend the courses on this and that. But I just didn't feel that it didn't help me. And I feel like I was drowning as a physician, and I'm, solo practitioner. And it really took coming into the business school to help turn my practice around. So I am just forever grateful.
My goodness, Dr. Corolla, you are such a rock star. We just love everything about your story, from starting with the scary, scary thing of inheriting a practice. That's scary. And then going into COVID, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing what's going to become of you, the practice, or anything. And then it also was a little scary to join the business school, not knowing if it would work for you, because here you are, you weren't necessarily in the best place in your business, but you made a decision to not stay the same because, nothing changes if you don't change or if something doesn't change, right? So you
Right.
made the decision to do something different. But then here you are, one of the fastest growing companies in the entire Southeast region. OMG. That's incredible. So we're really, really proud of you. Lots of love in the comments. See all the congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing story. Thank you for sharing the arc of being a CEO. All of the things Dr. Una shared with us tonight resonated in your life because you had to pivot, you had to change, you had to learn based on what you learned in the school, and you had to make the decision to rise above everything. So that is amazing. I want to just encourage anyone listening that you definitely look at everyone saying, congratulations, thank you so much for sharing your story, that your story is just as amazing as Dr. Corolla's story and can be. Dr. Una shared with us tonight that these are things that nothing is outside of the realm of possibility. So I have put my calendar in the comments there. If you are thinking, you know what, Makita, we need to talk. Everyone else has talked to you. I need to talk to you too. I am willing. I want to talk with you. Let's talk about it. Let's look at where you are. Let's look at what could be for you. Um, and let's just see. Let's just see what can happen because nothing is outside the realm of possibility for you and for your business. Chloe, one thing I want to ask you. And before we let everybody go, is when it came to joining the business school, did you have any hesitation about that? Because there may be somebody listening tonight. It's like, you know what? Both of the people that spoke today, they have one thing in common. They're both business school students. And another thing they have in common is that their businesses are thriving. But I'm just not sure if that's for me. Did you have any hesitation when it comes
Yes,
to the time or the investment, anything like that?
yes, of course. Whenever you're trying to invest yourself in something, you're gonna have hesitation, right? It's gonna cost you money, it's gonna cost you time, but then you have to think about what is it where am I trying to get to? How can this help me? And so I knew I needed to invest in myself, right? One thing I always knew the potential of having a business. I always had that in back of my mind, but I also knew that for me, I wasn't doing it right. I needed to learn something. And I had to get out of that mindset of the only thing I can do is doctor, right? I'm like, oh, I'm a doctor, you know, I can't really run a practice. Oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. But then now there's a source that can actually help me to learn these things. And that's exactly what has happened over these years is just me learning and implementing, learning. And I still have the same practice, right? But it's a completely different practice at the same time because I've learned to implement what I've learned. But the most important thing is it's me changing, right? When my mindset changes, then everything else around me change, including my practice, my family, my time, like everything. So yes,
Awesome.
invest in yourself because the return on investment will be not even measurable, right? Because it
Wow.
affects every area of your life.
Wow. That's awesome. That's true. We didn't even get into that, but that's okay. We didn't even get into the personal aspects of your life that it affects. I know someone like you, you've gone on vacations with your family, you have more time freedom now, you have increased revenue that gives you the opportunity to do the things that you wanted to do. So it's really, 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 you're absolutely right when you say that. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, so there's my calendar if you want to talk with me. Now, tomorrow night, Dr. Una's talking about the Revenue Boost Daily 5. You're hearing all of these things, but the question is, how do you implement them and how do you fit them into your day? Because you're already busy. But guess what? There's a way to do it. So tomorrow night, please don't miss it, 6 p.m. Eastern sharp. Dr. Una is going to talk about what you need to do every day to boost revenue in your practice. So join us here early, 6 p.m. on time, and we are going to get started rocking and rolling right away. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, everyone. But in the chat, let me know. Did you change? Did you change? Let me know in the chat if you changed. If you're a brand new person leaving, let me know in the chat. You made those 3 decisions. You've changed. Okay. So when we come tomorrow, we're going to do some real work. Okay. Don't let yourself get cynical. Your business can change in 90 days. You as the entrepreneur, you can change in 90 days and you can rise to any challenge. You can overcome any challenge. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to work that revenue stuff. So make sure you're here at 6 o'clock. We're going to work. You're actually going to do stuff. You're going to do scary stuff and we're going to do it together. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody.